Alrighty guys, Andrew Demetrius here right back with another video. Now today, I'm going to be doing my ranking for mobs video. Now this is going to be not all of the mobs, obviously, but just my least favorite and my favorite mobs in Minecraft. So my top two favorite mobs and my top two least favorite mobs. Now I have both friendly mobs, audio to 0%, and hostile mobs to 0% as well, so that way it wouldn't be a dead giveaway. But behind me is something special, and I want to well, I want to show you. So firstly, to my left are my top favorite mobs, okay? These are my favorites, okay? And again, you may disagree, but this is personally my opinion. So you guys may have seen that behind me as well, but hopefully you guys didn't. But my favorite mob is wolves. Now, I I don't want to be biased or anything, but wolves are just cute in Minecraft. What can I say? They are literally cute. They did recently get like an update not too long ago either, so they are much better. I mean, they were already pretty good. So this update added new sounds. They added new personalities, new variants. Um, they're really useful. You can obviously tame them. The only taming item that you can use is a bone. Speaking of which, when you hold any type of meat or bones close to an untamed or tamed wolf, even aggressive wolves that are aggro, they will tilt their head cutely, which is really 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 adorable. Um, so yeah, the reason why I have these guys glassed in is so that way they don't wander around, so that way they don't move around, and that way they just stay in place, so that way I can focus on them. Um, So yeah, you can tame a bunch of wolves. You can create an army, and all you really need to do that is with two wolves. Once you get two wolves and have enough meat, you can start getting a huge army of wolves because you can start breeding them with any type of meat, excluding fish, obviously. If you use any type of meat, such as steak, steak is what I use best. Um, and if you seed two fully healed wolves, tamed wolves. You can't do this on untamed wolves for some odd reason. I guess it's because, well, they don't. I guess Mojang doesn't want you to share wolves with other people. I guess that makes sense, but still, it's kind of weird that you can only breed your tamed wolves. Uh, I don't have anything against it, but I just find it really strange. Uh, but once you breed two wolves, they will create a little wolf pup for you. This wolf pup will eventually grow into an adult-sized wolf, provided that you don't give it a golden dandelion, which I discussed in my other video. My other video that I had explained baby mobs and how they work in Minecraft. So if you don't give a wolf pup a golden dandelion, it will grow up eventually into an adult stage like this. This is an adult wolf, so it's not a pup wolf. This is an adult wolf because you can tell because of how big it is. If it was a wolf pup, it would be much smaller. Um, so yeah, um, yeah. Another recent update they added with wolves, obviously, is wolf armor. You can kill armadillos, which are a newer mob addition to the game, and you get their scutes. I think that's how you pronounce the word. You get their scutes, and you can craft wolf armor using their scutes. This is borderline the most overpowered thing in the game for keeping your wolves alive because it pretty much denies all damage, except potion effects such as harming, poison, and wither, most notably. So your wolf is pretty much is invulnerable to any death or any damage, such as lava, being attacked, or anything like that. Their armor is just borderline overpowered, and it basically keeps your. It's like a totem of undying for wolves. Your wolves in this game. It's literally borderline overpowered. The only weakness is that the stronger weapons does tend to destroy the wolf armor faster, but you can heal it if it doesn't fully break. You can repair it if it doesn't fully break. You can use shears to take it off of your wolf, and you can take it to an anvil. And if you have enough armadillo scutes, you can actually repair it, provided that you have enough enchantment level. which is really nice and really notable to know that you can repair wolf armor. And once you do, you can put it back on your wolf, and it's freshly repaired, and therefore it can take the amount of damage again. Again, even with wolf armor on, though, your wolves are still vulnerable to potion effects, such as wither, poisoned, harming. Uh, but the positive ones do also affect too, such as regeneration, strength, swiftness, or anything like that. So it's not just the negative potions. Positive potions still work on armored wolves as well. All right, so that's the reason why wolves are just my favorite. They are super adorable, especially their update back in April of 2024. They got revamped quite a lot, and I'm all here for it, baby. All right, so number one, and this is no surprise to anyone, that is the villager. Villagers in Minecraft, I mean, what can I say? They are the most iconic mob in the game besides creepers. They are the most updated mob. They're also the most advanced mob, I guess you could say. Um, Villagers are useful. They have different occupations. This guy's a Fletcher, as you can see. Um, you can trade with them, obviously. They will flee from any hostile mob, such as especially undead zombies. So, like undead mobs, like zombies, husks, zombie villagers, uh, drowned, etc. All of the undead mobs. They will also run away from the illagers too, such as vindicators, pillagers, evokers. Yeah. Um, so again, they are really, really, really nice. They can only be found in villagers, or villages, not villagers. Kind of like be found in villagers. Okay, that's stupid. But anyway, you can naturally find them in villages. But from what I have seen, this isn't on the wiki, and it says on wiki that villagers don't naturally spawn outside of villages. But sometimes, from what I've seen, is sometimes. Also, I forgot to mention wolves are neutral mobs, so they can be found on peaceful. They only attack players if you attack them, so they are neutral. They aren't hostile, but they are neutral. Villagers are completely passive, so even if you attack a villager, it will flee rather than attack back. So yeah, villagers are completely passive. Wolves are neutral. Um, so yeah, again, villagers are really neat, and like I said, they are the most advanced mob. They're the most updated mob. They have the most going for them, um, in terms of different things and different appearances. I mean, wolves did get new appearances too because they're new variants, but villagers have more. They have different occupations. They have different levels. Uh, so yeah. Um, as I was saying though, before I forgot that wolves are neutral and villagers are passive. Uh, yeah, villagers can, from what I've seen so far, villagers can naturally spawn anywhere as long as you have a structure that has a bed, a bell, and a campfire nearby. The more beds you have around that area, the higher the chance of villagers spawning. Now, this isn't supposed to be the case on Wiki. I read it up on Wiki. Villagers are only supposed to naturally spawn in villages that are already naturally generated within your world. Uh, Villagers don't naturally spawn, or they're supposed to not naturally spawn outside of villages uh, that you don't create. So if you have created villages, hypothetically, if you were to create a village, villagers, I think, should naturally spawn as long as you have beds. Because really the only requirement to have villagers naturally spawn, right, are beds. Uh, if you have beds in a certain area, villagers are more typical to spawn in that area. However, this isn't the case. Uh, or isn't supposed to be the case, but for me, they seem to spawn. I don't know. I don't know why, but on Wiki, Wiki says that villagers don't naturally spawn outside of villages that are naturally generated within your world. So again, I find it strange. Now, this guy's a Fletcher, right? We haven't traded with him yet, so any villager that you have not traded with can change occupation. So if we were to put down a different job site block, so he's a Fletcher, right? So if I put down, I don't know, a a brewing stand, he should turn it into a cleric, right? So let's go ahead and do this, right? So let's go ahead and put down our brewing stand. Turn this way so we don't spoil the bad mobs that I'm going to get back to. Okay, trust me. So we're going to go ahead and put brewing stand right here. We may need to actually put it in that block with him, so let's go ahead and do that. Don't mind me, villager. I'm just dropping in saying hi. Oh, okay, our little wolf friend escaped. That's okay. Okay, we can just lead him back. Come back. Hey. Okay, no. Hmm. All right, so that's kind of failed. Okay, so we need to fix this up a little bit. Again, these are just my opinions. Okay, you guys can disagree. You guys can hate wolves, but again, I personally love wolves. I mean, I love animals in general, but I have a deep respect for wolves just about any game. Even Red Dead Redemption 2 wolves. I mean, I have discussed it several times. I'm not afraid to say it out loud. I love wolves. I may have a deep bias towards wolves, but I absolutely love wolves. I respect them. Just about any game. And Minecraft is no difference. Alright, get back in here. Hey, get back in here. I got a plan, John. I got a plan. We're delivering the wolf to satisfaction. Perfect. It can still escape, though. That was an ultimate fail. Okay, you know what? You be free there, Mr. Wolf. Okay, don't worry. You're free to go. So what did I do wrong here? I think it's this block over here. Also, I kind of probably just spoiled my two least favorite mobs. So I'm trying to do my best to look over here because I don't want to spoil. Although you probably already know because of my last videos, my least favorite mobs. Why did I do this here? Okay, weird. Also, I might as well and tame this guy. Come here. I'm trying to look away. I do have my hostile mobs uh, settings set to 0, so we can't hear the mobs. And I did that deliberately. Oh my god, he's aggressive on this sheet. Come on, man. I'm trying to tame you here, and you're kind of spoiling it. So yeah, that's something else I forgot about wolves. They will naturally attack any other non-predatory animal. So sheep, foxes. Did I really say sheeps? Sheep is plural for both single and plural. I don't know why I said that. So we're going to wait for this guy to unaggro so we can tame him. Come on, unaggro. There we go. There we go. So now these guys are tamed. So now they have more adorable eyes. And now we can command them to sit. And how do you know that they're tamed? Well, you can tell they're tamed from 3 ways, 3 different signs. 1, their eyes are much cuter and much more adorable. 2, they have a new collar on their leg. You can see how it's red. You can clearly see it. And 3, their tails are naturally higher. The tail is very important. I've discussed this very recently, especially in my Everything You Need to Know About Wolves video that I did a few weeks back. Their tail indicates their health level. This is very important. So the higher their tail, the higher their health. And if it goes down, that means they are losing health. Um, Now, wolves will also naturally whine, letting you know that they are injured and need to be healed. Um, Now, if you get too far away from your wolves that are standing, they will follow you. So watch this. See, our little wolf friend's now following us. There you go. I want to look this way. I don't want to go third person either, because that will kind of get the way. But, so yeah. Uh, Villagers are really, really nice. They are the probably most iconic mob because they have the most iconic sounds. I do have mobs volume. I do have the mob audio completely down, so we can't hear his iconic trading sound cue. But yeah, I did it deliberately so that way you guys didn't, get my mobs, my favorite and least favorite mobs. Uh, that way it wasn't a dead giveaway. But behind me are my least favorite mobs, and this is my opinion. So you can disagree with me all you want, but this is just my opinion. Oh, whoops, sorry, dude, I didn't mean to attack you. So behind me is my ultimate least favorite mob in Minecraft, hands down. I absolutely despise this mob. That is none other than the Phantom. I despise the Phantom, and that's for one simple reason. Phantoms are a punishment for the player that means they okay. Let me try to explain this as good and as good and as in depth as I possibly can. All right. Phantoms are hostile mobs, so they can only spawn if you. They don't spawn if you're playing on peaceful. Thank God. So if you're playing peaceful and if you're just having a good time, mining blocks and whatnot, they don't spawn. But they are a punishment to players who do not sleep. So if you do not sleep within, I think it's 3 in-game days, if you don't sleep within 3 nights, on the third night, there's an increasing chance of them spawning, and they only spawn at night. But their key thing is to attack players. They do not attack any other mob naturally. Their whole idea and the whole gimmick is to attack players who do not sleep. They act as a nightmarish mob that attack players who do not sleep, who do not go to sleep at night. Which sounds like a cool idea on paper, but let me tell you, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. It's not good at all. These are the worst mob. This is the worst mob in the game, in my opinion. Again, it's a cool idea on paper, but it's genuinely not good. I absolutely hate Phantoms in Minecraft. Phantoms are just the worst, in my opinion. You can be outside during night, forgotten to have sleep, alright? The reason why I have grass blocks above the glass is so that way our Phantom guy does not burn up because he's an undead mob. So, similarly to zombies, skeletons, husks, drowned, zombie villagers, blah blah blah, Phantoms will burn in the sun because they're undead mobs. So that's the reason why I have grass above the glass blocks. So that way, I have a little shelter, so that way it doesn't die. And I had to go underground to place him because phantoms naturally go up in the air, and they kind of hover around the player. So yeah, and they seize the opportunity to attack when they want to. Uh, Now phantoms are kind of a newer addition. They have not been in the game, uh, say as long as wolves. Wolves have been in the game pretty much since the beginning. Phantoms were a newer addition. They weren't a good addition, in my opinion. The only thing Phantoms have going for them is the fact that they drop something kind of important, but not really. And that is Phantom Membrane. That is their drop. Once you kill them or they die from the sunlight, uh, they will drop Phantom Membrane. The only thing that I have to say about Phantom Membrane is the fact that it is the only thing that you can use to create slow falling potions, which is not a very useful potion effect in the game. There are much more effective potion effects in the game. Personally, slow falling is not one of them. So, I personally don't find phantoms really useful either, and they're more annoying than anything. So, yeah. So next we have evokers. Now, evokers, Evokers, okay, hear me out. I know Evokers have a very useful drop, and that is Totem of Undying. They're the only mob to drop Totems of Undying. No other mob does it. They literally are essential, especially for hardcore games. If you're trying to prevent yourself from dying as much as possible, then Evokers are obviously the most crucial to killing because uh, they drop Totems of Undying. Of course, they are the only mob to do this. No other mob will drop Totems of Undying. And just like Phantoms, they are hostile mobs, so they only spawn. They don't spawn when you're playing on peaceful. Similar to Vindicators and Pillagers, Evokers will naturally attack villagers on sight. So yeah. But the number one thing I hate about Evokers is that they are the guys that summon Vexes. Ugh, I hate Vexes too, and that's another main reason why I hate Evokers, is because they spawn Vexes. They summon Vexes. I hate them, okay? That's another reason why I hate Evokers, but the reason why I like Evokers a bit better than Phantoms is self-explanatory. For one simple reason, and that is the fact that they drop Totems of Undying upon death. That is the only thing I can say good about Evokers. Now, again, they do naturally attack villagers on sight, and they do summon Vexes, which single-handedly are one of the other mobs again, second behind Phantoms, in my opinion. Vexes are the absolute worst mob behind Phantoms, in my opinion. In fact, I should have had a second glass here, a glass wall here, cage, if you will, for Vexes, for like a special guest, a special bonus as my least favorite mob in Minecraft. My second least favorite mob. Again, Evokers are primarily here just for the simple fact that they summon Vexes. If they did not summon Vexes, they wouldn't be here. Vexes would be here. But because Evokers summon Vexes, I had no choice but to put them here as my second least favorite mob in Minecraft. Again, while they do have the essential use of dropping Totems of Undying upon death, because they are essential, they literally prevent you from dying, uh, but they still summon Vexes, which single-handedly kind of like irons it out. They kind of balance out each other, in my opinion. So while they have a good use for Totems of Undying, they summon Vexes, which are annoying. So, again, but nothing beats Phantom for least favorite. Let's just be honest. My least favorite is Phantom for a reason. And again, Phantom Membrane is not very useful. Again, the only thing that Phantom Membrane is used for is creating potions of slow falling. Again, which is not even that useful of a potion effect to begin with. So, again, Phantoms are not at all essential or useful in any meaningful way. And again, like I said earlier, they're more annoying than anything. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Those are my favorite mobs and my least favorite mobs in Minecraft. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.